Aave loses 15B as KelpDAO RSETH risk-triggered outflows. The immediate tension is that the market stress came from fears about uncollateralized RSETH, loss socialization, and third-party liquid staking exposure. The event itself is clear. Aave saw $15.1 billion in outflows over roughly 3.5 days after the KelpDAO RSETH exploit. The first thing to notice is the pressure point, not the excitement around the name. For viewers, the story starts with who can act differently because this happened, and who still faces friction. That matters because DeFi lending depends on confidence in third-party assets that protocols accept as collateral. A clean opening read is to separate access from proof. Access can arrive instantly, but proof usually appears only after users, traders, institutions, or regulators respond in measurable ways. The confirmed baseline is deposits fell from $48.5 billion to $30.7 billion, while Sparkland gained about $1.3 billion. This gives the story a concrete frame because it defines the actors, limits, numbers, and operating conditions. It also keeps the segment away from vague speculation. The surrounding context matters because the same headline can mean different things in a trading venue, a regulatory process, a security patch, or a payments rollout. Here, the baseline shows where the story begins before any bigger claim is tested. The key is to treat the known facts as the floor, then ask whether the floor is strong enough for the next step. Most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in, so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. Aave loses 15B matters mechanically because the exploit involved about 116,500 uncollateralized RSETH tokens minted through KelpDAO's Layer 0 V2 bridge setup. In plain language, when collateral integrity is questioned, lending users move before loss allocation is settled. This is where the story becomes useful instead of abstract. The mechanism explains why a user, trader, developer, investor, or regulator might change behavior. It also shows what could break. If the mechanism depends on liquidity, then depth matters. If it depends on law, then text and enforcement matter. If it depends on security, then implementation matters. The mechanism is the bridge between a headline and a real market consequence. The affected side is Aave depositors, RSETH holders, Sparkland users, liquid staking teams, and DeFi risk managers. For them, liquidity left Aave quickly while some capital moved toward platforms with stricter supply caps and Oracle controls. The scope is important because not every crypto story moves the whole market. Some stories change costs for a small group of traders, others shape policy, stablecoin flows, DeFi collateral, or institutional access. This scene should make the effect concrete. It asks who has a new option, who carries new risk, who gets squeezed, and who needs to adjust plans. That is the difference between a story that sounds dramatic and a story that changes behavior. The unresolved part is whether losses land closer to $123.7 million or $230.1 million, and who absorbs them. That uncertainty does not erase the confirmed event, but it limits how far the story can be taken. Outflows are confirmed, but final loss allocation and recovery terms remain open. A disciplined read avoids turning early movement into a final conclusion. For crypto markets especially, the first reaction can be loud while the durable signal stays quiet. The best question is what evidence would change the story. It may be usage data, a court order, regulator language, security testing, customer retention, deeper liquidity, or a clearer project timeline. Most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in, so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. For Aave loses 15B, the next signal is KelpDAO loss decisions, Aave treasury support, partner commitments, and deposit stabilization. If that appears, the story can move from an initial development into a more durable market or policy signal. If it does not appear, the event may stay important but narrow. The closing takeaway is to judge the story by evidence that can be checked, not by guaranteed upside or worst-case fear. Track the signal, compare it with the baseline, and watch whether real users, capital, institutions, or regulators respond in a way that lasts beyond the first wave of attention.